Hey everybody, it's Christina Holloway here, and today we're going to talk about chaos in the workplace. Another way of putting it is somebody who always creates fire drills and your whole day gets thrown off because you have to deal with somebody else's drama, and this can happen regularly. So it potentially can throw you off for days, weeks, or months on end. How do we deal with this? On the one hand, you could have a person who creates fire drills on purpose. Now, this could be a person who works above you. So this would be your supervisor or somebody 2 levels above who tends to always like to create fire drills. That's just the way they operate. They don't feel like they're getting things done unless they're constantly creating chaos and asking people to stop what they're doing and get on this call or get on this project or get on this initiative right away. Now, I actually worked for somebody like this. It wasn't for me to understand why she did it, but she just always did this. Every couple of days, she just started the day that way. I have a bunch of fire drills. This is what we're going to work on today. It was very, very disruptive because then beyond that, you still had your regular job to do. It isn't easy to navigate somebody that way. Now, there's another. The second part is you could be dealing with someone who doesn't realize that that's what they're doing. A person who tends to reach out and ask for help and asks you to drop everything you're doing. Again, usually the people who create fire drills are the ones who are above you. They're going to come down and they're going to ask you, stop everything that you're doing and pay attention to my stuff or something that I've decided is a priority today. And you're at their mercy. Now, when we have people who work above us, who constantly come to us for fire drills, we do need to identify, are you one of these two people? Someone who believes that in order for you to stay engaged or to be at the top of your game or to feel like you're actually doing productive work is to constantly challenge you with new fire drills every few days or every few weeks. You're dealing with one type of person. If you have somebody else who they just don't have a good grasp of the job they're doing, and they tend to ask you repeatedly, can you help me out with this? This has gotten out of control. The first thing we want to do is identify which of these two people you're working with. Once you figure that part out, you can identify how to deal with it. So if you have somebody in the first class, somebody who's constantly challenging you with new demands and interrupting your day, there are ways that you can deal with it, at least to mitigate the impact on you. Now, what that means is you can't change that other person, especially if that's their personality or that's their outlook. So what you do have to do is change the way you approach your day-to-day. Now, when we talk about changing your approach or changing the assumptions you make about this person, this is more about understanding every day or every couple days or every couple weeks, I know I'm going to get hit with a fire drill. So what do I have to do to prepare for that? Now you can create some sort of toolkit, keep it in your back pocket and say every time a fire drill comes up, I know I have to take these 4 actions so that I can quash it as fast as possible. That means bringing in certain subordinates each time. That means creating an email trail that goes out each time. That means letting people know who you're currently working with that your stuff is going to get delayed and know that you have to push it back 2 days or 3 days so that you can deal with this. And creating these boundaries. If you have no control over the situation, creating as many boundaries as you possibly can to mitigate the impact on your day-to-day is going to be the best path forward. Now, let's say you have somebody else that you're working with and that person just isn't aware that they're creating any kind of chaos for you. That's a person that I've been talking to this week. He explained to me that he has a supervisor who's very high up, an executive vice president, and this person tends to go about his business doing his own thing, which means he reaches out to supervisors or consultants or people way down the chain of command, and he just goes and gets his information that way. And so this person that I'm working with said, this creates fire drills for me because I have to get involved. And now I realize that they didn't have the information they needed, so then I get involved. They come to me and say, oh my God, he's reaching out. Here's what we learned. They're trying to create a new culture, one where they don't have so many layers of people getting involved, which means if you're an executive, you should feel comfortable reaching out to lower level people. What does that mean for lower level people? They need to get used to hearing from somebody that high up without feeling intimidated or worrying about what the implications are that this guy reached out to them. And for the person that I was coaching, he came to terms with, you know what, these aren't really fire drills. All I have to do is really work with my subordinates, those people that he feels comfortable reaching out to, and let them know every once in a while he's going to reach out. If you don't know an answer, just let me know and you can loop me in. Otherwise, I trust you to stay in touch with him and give him the correct information. And he empowered them. So while he called these fire drills, mostly because they were disruptive at first, he was able to create a workaround which allowed other people to be empowered to make these decisions on his behalf or inside the parameters of the job description. And then they didn't feel so beholden to him to solve the problems for them. So those weren't necessarily terrible fire drills, but there was a workaround. In terms of another person who spends a lot of time creating havoc and creating fire drills because that's the only way that person works, again, you have to create boundaries around how much you're going to let that disrupt you. You can say to this person, I see we have another fire drill today. I've got 4 projects I'm going to put aside. Just so you know, those aren't going to meet deadline now. You're just setting expectations. And that's the majority of what we're trying to do here. Make sure you set expectations, make sure you have a backup plan, and make sure that you start asking questions and communicating so that potentially what you considered a fire drill may not be so bad. Okay, this was a quick one today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.